Come build a welding cart with me without measuring anything. This weekend I did a job out on site and decided not to unload my van until I built a proper cart for my TIG welder. Because up to this point I'd only built one for my MIG and stick welder, and TIG deserves its own throne instead of this barroom table base. I didn't measure a lot, only the square that actually holds the welder matters. The rest, who gives a shit? We're doing this by guess and by God today. Don't mind the paper towel sketch, it's very technical, just trust me. That weekend job repairing a wood furnace attacked my skin in a way that left me looking like Typhoid Mary and Ron Perlman had a middle-aged baby, so we'll be avoiding face close-ups today in an effort to combat human suffering. Some people buy a TIG card at Harbor Freight for $35. Not me. I like to burn an entire day and $75 worth of materials and end up with something that bends when you push it, rattles under pressure, and somehow keeps on standing, just like your mom. Hey, Ann, you know, if you used a jig for those 45s, it'd go a lot faster. Well, I don't have a jig for those 45s. That's why you see me measuring everything and marking it out like a donkey. I also don't feel like adjusting the stops on my chop saw. So here I am throwing caution to the wind with my angle grinder. I know I say I hate MIG welding, but I change my tune when I get to run it downhand because I don't give a shit, because this is my life, and I do what I want because I'm a grown woman. Do you hear me, Mom? I only fucked up one piece of angle iron, but don't worry, you don't need to know that. Have you ever wondered why pigeons bob their heads when they walk? Not just like the little nod, like a casual bird thing, but that full, sharp forward and back motion that makes it look like they're tiny little drunken robots. At first glance, it's just cute and maybe annoying, but the reason is actually kind of fun. It's a visual stabilization trick because birds like doves and chickens and quails have eyes that are basically fixed in their skulls. They can't move them around like humans do. So when a pigeon steps forward, it pokes its head forward and holds it still for a second, like a fraction of a second, and that visual scene pauses while the body catches up. Then the head moves again. Essentially, pigeons have invented their own mechanical freeze frame for seeing the world clearly while they're walking. Some researchers realized that the same principle could be applied to tiny autonomous robots like drones. They stabilize the camera by jerking the frame and letting the body catch up. But also, there's a subtle connection to human neurology. The motion mimics certain kinds of saccadic eye movements and vestibular microadjustments we do unconsciously. So a bird walking down a street is doing something that's at the same time mechanical, neurological, and engineering genius, really. And then there's the bonus bit. There's a species of pigeon that doesn't bob at all, and scientists aren't exactly sure why. It's like evolution randomly flipped a switch. Some pigeons are floating ghosts through space-time, while others are tiny drunken robots. And I can already see the birds aren't real people showing up. That's why I planted this tiny little robot bird seed in your feed. Consider it this video's little comment section hand grenade. That's not awesome. Right. It worked while I was welding on it. Stability check, passes. Structurally sound, probably. Good enough for the girls we run around with. You can't see it from your house, what are you worried about? Then I remembered to throw some expanded metal in the bottom where the argon cylinder will sit, plus a safety chain to wrap around it so it doesn't topple when I'm doing hot laps around the block at 1 a.m. when I'm still jacked up on 3 coffees since my kids went to bed. Because even though I'm self-employed, I have internalized trauma from watching for OSHA inspectors, and my health insurance plan is shit. So the cylinder is both secure and compliant. This thing rolls like Fred Astaire across the dance floor, and I'm Ginger Rogers doing it all backwards in composite toes. And hey, nobody's gonna notice some screwy angles or a few bad welds with this glorious paint job, and if you don't recognize it as Kix Brooks' shirt from the 1994 album Hardworkin' Man, then you're not a real American. I have to admit, this place looks a lot more tidy when nothing is plugged in, but so far I'm feeling very superior with how slick this area looks now. Behold the welders in my kingdom of chaos.